All right, let's just dive right in. We all have to make our case at some point, right? Whether you're in a big meeting, you're writing a tense email, or maybe it's just a conversation over dinner. So, how do you go from just stating your opinion to actually winning the argument? Well, today we're going to break down the secret formula that the world's best debaters use.
I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? You've got this great point. You know you're right, but for some reason, the other person just isn't getting it. They're not convinced. So you walk away feeling super frustrated, thinking, what just happened? Where did I go wrong? Well, it turns out there's a really common reason for this. And the good news is, it's something we can totally fix.
Okay, so the biggest mistake that most of us make, we fall into what's called the assertion trap. Seriously, this is the #1 reason why perfectly good ideas just fail to persuade people. It's the huge difference between a weak claim and a truly powerful argument. So what is an assertion exactly? Well, to put it simply, it's a statement you throw out there as if it's a fact, but you don't give anyone a real reason to believe you, you know? You're saying what you think, but you're totally skipping the part where you explain why they should agree with you. It's just a claim, kind of left hanging in the air with nothing holding it. Okay, now look at this. See how just one single word here changes everything? On the left, you've got a simple assertion. Local media needs protection. And you're like, okay, maybe. But then on the right, you have a real argument. Why? Because it adds that magic word, because. That one word, because, gives you the reason. It's the logical link that explains why the statement is true. That right there is the foundation of a persuasive point. So the crucial takeaway here is this. To escape that assertion trap, we've got to stop just making claims and start actually building arguments. And luckily for us, there's a clear, really simple structure that pro debaters use to do exactly that. And that brings us right to the core of this whole thing, the debater's formula. Now, it might look a little like a math equation, but trust me, this is the secret to building a clear, logical, and super persuasive argument every single time. And here it is. That's it. Looks almost too simple, right? X leads to Y. This simple little thing is the fundamental blueprint for pretty much every powerful argument you've ever heard. So let's unpack what these letters actually mean. Okay, so in this formula, X is your main idea. It's the action you're proposing. And Y? That's the outcome, the impact of your idea. But that arrow in the middle, that is the most important part. That little arrow is the logical link. It's the reason how X actually causes Y. But here's the catch, and this is important. Just saying X leads to Y, well, that's not enough. That's just another assertion, right? The real magic, the real skill is in proving that the arrow is real. You have to make that connection between your idea and its outcome not just clear, but absolutely 100% believable. So how do we do that, right? How do you actually prove your link and make an argument that's truly convincing? Well, it all comes down to understanding what really motivates people and what motivates institutions. Think about it. When you're trying to prove that your idea is going to cause a certain outcome, you have to ground your argument in reality. You got to ask yourself, what are the real-world incentives here? What would actually make this person or this company or this government act the way I'm predicting they will? You know, professional debaters basically divide incentives into two big categories. So on one side, you've got what they call first-tier incentives. These are the big ones, the really powerful ones. They're essential and, let's be honest, they're often pretty selfish. Things like holding on to power, making a profit, or just getting basic resources. These are the motivations that are almost impossible for people to ignore. Then on the other side, you've got second-tier incentives. Now, these are the nice-to-have things, like that warm, fuzzy feeling you get when you volunteer. They're altruistic, sure, but they're not essential for survival. And this right here, is the absolute heart of making your argument believable. The strongest, most powerful arguments connect their link, that little arrow from X to Y, directly to a first-tier incentive. If you can show how your idea plays into someone's core, even selfish interests, well, your argument suddenly becomes incredibly difficult to just brush aside. Okay, so you've built a strong, believable argument. Awesome. But you're not done yet. See, a truly great argument isn't just persuasive, it's also resilient. It has to be able to take a punch. It has to be ready for criticism. And that brings us to the next level, making it bulletproof. World champion debater Harish Natarajan really hits the nail on the head here. He says, the best way of being preemptive is to think about the responses you would have given yourself. Basically, to make your argument bulletproof, you have to think like your own worst critic. Before you even say a word, you should have already figured out all the smartest ways someone could attack your point. And it's really a simple two-step process. Step 1, anticipate the attacks. Think like your opponent. What are their best counter-arguments? And then build your defenses right into your point from the very beginning. Then, step 2, and this part is absolutely crucial, you need to weigh your impact. Don't just prove that your point is true, you have to prove that it's important. Honestly, this is how the best arguments win, time and time again. You can actually acknowledge that the other side might have a valid point, but then you show why your outcome, your why, is way more significant or more impactful or more urgent. See, you're not just fighting over who's technically right, you're fighting over what matters most. All right, let's bring this all together. What we've just walked through isn't just a collection of random tips. It's a complete toolkit. It's your new go-to for building persuasive and really resilient arguments. So here it is, your new persuasion toolkit. Number 1, always escape the assertion trap by adding that because. Number 2, build your arguments using that simple X leads to Y formula. 3, make your link believable by connecting it to those powerful first-tier incentives. And finally, number 4, make it bulletproof. Anticipate the attacks and then weigh your impact to show why your point matters most. And you know, the best part about all this? This whole toolkit isn't just for some formal debate stage. No way. You can use this exact structure to write a more persuasive email to your boss. You can use it to make a stronger case in your next team meeting. Heck, you can even use it just to have better, more productive conversations in your everyday life. It's a universal tool for clear and effective communication.
So, really, the only question left is, now that you've got the formula, now that you know how to build a truly powerful argument, what important idea are you going to champion next?